guys, it's Ms. Roper. Last time you saw me, we were working on rolling our numbers, which is what we do during math routines. So this time we are going to dig into the rest of the things that we do during math routines. Each slide that you're going to see in this PowerPoint will be a new question. I'm going to read the question, point out any words you might have forgotten or don't know in the question, explain some things. We'll do a practice one together, 1 or 2 practice, and then what I need you to do is in the comments, I need you to write your answer. So whatever you think, you write your answer in the comments, and then I will be reading your comments later to see how you did. So here's our first question. How many of the letters are polygons? So you see the word love, L-O-V-E. We need to figure out how many of those letters, if none of them or all of them, are polygons. So a reminder, a polygon is any shape that is closed. So one thing that I would say is that if a shape is closed, that means if something was inside of that shape, it could not get out. It is a closed shape. So if it's a polygon, it is closed and it has line segments. That just means that it has straight lines. So no curved lines, it has to be straight, and no open spaces, it has to be closed. So we'll look at the L first. And if I look at the L and I think about if I put something inside of this L, could that get out? And as you can see, there is a line segment on the left, a line segment on the bottom, but there's not a line segment on the right or a line segment on the top. So this little squiggle that I drew could get out. It is not open. It is not a polygon. And then even though it does have straight lines, it has to have both to be a polygon. All right, so your turn. In the comments, O-V-E, are they polygons? How many are parallelograms? So we already know that these shapes are polygons. They all are closed and they all have straight lines. So now we need to figure out, well, are they parallelograms? Smaller word inside of parallelogram is parallel. If a shape has parallel lines, that means both of those lines are going in the same direction. If those 2 lines kept going, they would never cross each other. So they're parallel. So we need to see, for a shape to be a parallelogram, all of the sides have to be parallel. So each side has to have a partner that is going in the same direction. Not just one, but all of them. So let's look at this first shape. I'm going to choose, I'll start with this side that's on the left, and I look and see, are there any other sides that are going in that same direction? And if they kept going, they would never cross each other. So we mark it by using an arrow. I'm going to put an arrow going in this direction for the left side we're currently looking at. And then I can see on the opposite side, that side is also going in the same direction. So these 2 sides are parallel to each other. But remember, for it to be a parallelogram, all of the sides have to be parallel. So I have to look at the 2 sides that are left over. Now watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put an arrow and another arrow to show this side on the top. And then I'm going to do 2 arrows on the bottom. That's just to show that those 2 sides go together. So I know that the arrows that are just 1 arrow, those 2 sides go together. And then the top and bottom both have 2 arrows. Those 2 sides are both parallel. So this shape is a parallelogram because every side has another side that is parallel to it. So in the comments, I need you to let me know the next 2 shapes. So it looks like we have 2 rectangles. Are those rectangles also parallelograms? How many are quadrilaterals? So a quadrilateral, fun fact, that word quad means 4. Quadrilaterals are shapes that have 4 sides and 4 angles. Exactly 4. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's start with this purple shape that we see. If I count the sides, and I'm just going to quickly slash them out so I don't miss any. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, it has 4 sides, but it also has to have 4 angles. Remember, your angles are the corners. So I'm going to count all the corners, and I'm just going to circle them. 1, 2, 3, ooh, that's sloppy, 4. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So this shape is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides, it has 4 angles. Let's also look at, there's a trickier one. Let's look at this green arrow down here. So count the sides. 1, 2, this one's tricky, look, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm just gonna stop there because we already have more than 4. So this arrow is not a quadrilateral. All right, so in the comments, let me know which of these other shapes are quadrilaterals and are not quadrilaterals. Look at the shape and answer the questions. Okay, so when I look at this shape, just some quick things that I notice. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. All right, number 1. How many right angles? So a right angle, those are special kinds of angles. So right angles, they have to be perfect L-shaped corners, just like this. They can't be too little, they can't be too big. They have to be those perfect L-shaped corners. Something that you can use to make this one a little easier is grab a piece of paper, hold it up to the corner. If that corner of the piece of paper fits, it's a right angle. Or maybe a sticky note, just any, usually pieces of paper are good to use. They have those perfect square corners that you can use. So if we look at all of these angles here, and I get my perfect L-shaped corner and put it up to any of these angles, I don't think I see any that are perfect L shapes. Actually, something that I notice is that all of these shapes are their angles are way too big to be right angles. So none of these angles are right angles. Let's take a look. It should look like this, perfect L, but it doesn't. You can see it goes farther than that. So these angles are really wide angles. So none of those angles are perfect L shapes. Number 2 and number 3, I want to see you do in the comments on your own. So we'll skip down to number 4. So on the slide before, we talked about quadrilaterals and how that word quad means 4. So this shape, what I counted, what I counted when I first looked at it was 8 sides. So that'll really help you to name the shape. A lot of shapes are named by how many sides they have. And this shape has 8 sides. This shape is called an octagon. That first part of the word OCT, oct, means 8. So this is an octagon. Okay, now just for some multiplication practice. You can keep on watching through the slides and just practice saying out loud the multiplication facts and get better and better at them as you keep on practicing.